Now, the purpose of this video is to show you how we're helping doctors, nurses, and all healthcare providers generate $10, $20, even $30,000 per month of passive income in their first 90 days with just one online course. Without having to continue on one-on-one consultations, trading your hours for dollars, without having to work more than 3 hours per week, and without even knowing what to teach, like some of our students that you're later going to see in this video. The purpose of this video is to talk more about who I am, what my education company actually does, and why you should even listen to me in the first place. My goal is to help people achieve the same results that I've personally achieved by starting my first online course. And I'm going to be very fully transparent with why I'm doing this, what's in it for me as well, beyond just helping people. First of all, what is this all about? What is an online course all about? It's all about uncapped earnings potential. As doctors, we spend a lot of our times on one-on-one consultations, trading our hours for dollars, right? But in the digital world, there's uncapped earnings potential. We have students that are generating $10,000, even $30,000 per month within the first 30 days of working together. Beyond that, in the digital world, you have time freedom. You get the flexibility to control your own schedule. There's location freedom, right? You can work anywhere in the world, fully remote, from your laptop. Third of all, it's about developing a high income skill set, one that is very valuable in the online world. If you're learning from me and my team, combined together, we have 30 years plus of experience in the online world. And there's nothing that even comes close in our world-class training. Finally, why start an online course? It's about happiness. We went as medical doctors, went into medical school or nursing school or in the healthcare profession in order to help more people. But throughout the way, whether it's because we're just working too many hours or whether we're just fully burned out, we kind of lost sight of exactly what brings us joy and how to help more people without sacrificing our own mental health and without sacrificing our own happiness. With one online course, you can break free from the hamster wheel of trading your time for money on one-to-one consultations. With one online course, you no longer have to sacrifice your family time or even burn out by working 60, 80-hour work weeks in the hospital, right? Compared to a brick and mortar private practice, there's no staffing costs, no rent, no overhead. Compared to starting a private practice, there's no insurance headaches. Compared to real estate investments, there's no starting capital or paperwork or volatility in the market. And compared to any other online business like an Amazon FBA or dropshipping or some of those crazy gurus that you've been hearing on the internet, you don't need any physical products and you don't need any inventory. It's all one digital asset serving other people around the world with the expertise that you already have. And just to show you what is actually possible, let's go through some actual case studies of students that we've helped in the past. This is Dr. Mai. Before working with me, he had a private practice and actually had a newborn child coming on the way. And he was able to build his online course in just 2 to 3 hours each week on the side, even on top of his private practice duties, as well as becoming a newborn father. After working with us, he's able to create a course that's helping more doctors start their own dream practice in order to treat more children with progressive myopia. Just this morning, he had one sign up over a brunch meal at $1,500 for his course. Now he's raising his prices to $3,500, charging what he's worth, valuing his expertise, helping more people on the global scale. And you can see on the right hand side, he put $1 in and generated $20 out. That's $10,000 in, $200,000 out, right? 2,000% return on investment. And compared to a private practice, it is much more profitable, fatter profit margins without having to sacrifice his time. This is Dr. Teriot. Before working with us, she had a blog, she had a podcast, she had an entire website, but had difficulty generating patients as well as students to her material. She wanted to help more people without having to spend more of her time. And she was burned out and overworked and underpaid as a clinician. But after working with us, she was able to 4x her income in just 5 short weeks by helping patients alleviate their dry eyes. Dr. D here, before working with us, he was working 60-hour work weeks. After working with us, he had 6,000 students in his first 6 months of working together, right? So imagine if you were charging a $1,000 course, that would be $6 million in the first 6 months. And this is completely passive. It's a digital asset that works for you without even lifting a finger. It's completely automated because the internet does not sleep. 24 hours in a day, 365, with the expertise that he already had as a clinician. But look, we don't just work with doctors. We work with nurses, we work with dentists, we work with healthcare providers, we work with optometrists, we work with anyone that has medical knowledge to share, anyone in the healthcare profession. Here we have Nurse Clark, and in her first 10 hours, she generated 3 students, right? Before working with us, she was burnt out, overworked, underpaid. After working with us, she's now able to serve more people with her expertise in breast cancer. Now, beyond just the time freedom, the location freedom, and helping more people, some of our doctors are attracted to work with us in order to successfully pay off their student loans. And here's an example of a doctor that beat $666,000 in student loans just with our support. And here's a radiologist that successfully works 9 minutes a day now on a 100% automated online course. Now, this doesn't happen overnight, right? He put in the work up front in order to create a course, set it and forget it, and now this course works for him without even lifting a finger. This is 100% automated income of him sharing his expertise on the internet. Here's Dr. Beltran. She's very passionate about aerospace medicine, and she's actually from NASA. She used our program in order to help her share her expertise in the online world in order to generate more time freedom so that she can kind of reevaluate some of the priorities she had in her life and her career. And here's Dr. Haslaker. She's an expert in skin cancer, and she used our course in order to share her expertise in the online world and helped her fall back in love with medicine. With our amazing support, she found this course and our student community to be super fun and help her create a course that she had a lot of joy in. And finally, here's Dr. Furlong. He got his first student in just the first 2 weeks of working together, and now he actually generated 11 students in his first month. And so I share all of these successes not to impress you, but to impress upon you the power of sharing your expertise on the internet. Now, all this didn't happen overnight, right? Who am I? Why should you even listen to me? Well, I've been featured on Bootstrap MD, Doctor Podcast Network, Non-Clinical Careers, all of the fancy doctor podcasts that you've probably listened to about generating passive income. Over the last 3 years, I've worked with over 350 students from NASA, as you've probably seen, Harvard, Oxford, Stanford, Yale, U of T, University of Toronto, and UBC, University of British Columbia. We have offices in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Europe, and Asia, and we're very passionate about doing just one thing really, really well, which is helping doctors and nurses and healthcare providers share their expertise on the internet to generate financial freedom for themselves and their families. And our student results speak for themselves. Now, you might be asking, how are doctors and nurses and other healthcare providers making $10, $20, even $30,000 per month of passive income while working 3 to 5 hours or less each week? And the easiest way to explain this opportunity and why this is even possible is to give you context on myself, on us, my team, and what we do. Meet my team, all right? Combined together, we have over 30 years of experience in the online world. We have Adam, Anthony, and Julie, who's in charge of enrollment and making sure we can actually help the students that we enroll. And we have Reza and Alicio, who are in charge of student success and making sure our students are taken care of and getting the support that they need. As you can see, our team is rather small, but we're able to grow this from zero to a multi-7-figure unicorn in as early as our first 12 months working together. And the reason I share this with you is because this is something I've actually done, and this is something that I'm actually doing and teaching my students. The global e-learning market in 2019 was approximately 144 billion, but now in 2026, it's estimated to be 374 billion with a B. This is a booming e-learning economy, a booming industry where the market is very underserved. And as doctors, this puts us in a very privileged position to help more people on a global scale with the expertise that we already have. It's really just quite simple. It's packaging the medical expertise that you spent years and years, decades and decades of schooling and training to accumulate into a digital asset that produces income and impact even while you sleep. And this all comes down to positioning. By positioning the medical expertise that you already have into the right underserved market, we can create an online course that people need, want, and love. And it's obvious why we attract so many health experts inside this field to work with us. But in case that wasn't clear, let me walk through the benefits one by one. First, if you're an employee working at the hospital or the clinic, let's compare that with working in the digital world, right? First is time. As an employee, you're stuck selling your time hours for dollars. On the digital world, you're selling your knowledge, not your time. And you set it and forget it. You build this course once, but you can sell infinite copies over and over again, just like copy and paste. It's completely on autopilot, just like a video that you record once and publish on the internet. Let's look at the costs. As an employee, it probably took us $240,000 of student loans just to pass medical school. Now let's compare the digital world. The cost of starting an online business, especially an online course, is $0. You don't need any expensive equipment. You don't need any expensive software. All you need is just your laptop and your internet connection, which you already have, and you're good to go. If you can't even afford internet, go to your local Starbucks, go to your public library, go to your public college, right? There's no excuse not to take a board on this opportunity of a lifetime. Let's look at taxes. As a salaried employee, you're in one of the highest tax brackets. Doctors, nurses, and most healthcare providers are considered high income earners. And because of this, Uncle Sam takes a huge cut of your paycheck as a high income salaried employee. But as a business owner, as an online course creator in the digital world, it's a very tax efficient business model with tax margins less than 20%. Whether it's your travels, your mortgage, you can business expense all of this in order to create a much lower tax rate for yourself and your family. But beyond all these numbers, I think what's most fulfilling is really the impact that we can have on the world. As a doctor, I can tell you my story as an emergency physician. I was trading my time one-on-one, doing consultations one-on-one. The moment that I stop working is the moment that I stop making an impact on my patients' lives, right? Not only is my impact local, that means only constrained to my emergency room, which is a very small department in a very small hospital in a very small city or country, right? But beyond that, it's also limited to my own energy, my own time. And this is a true problem, especially in the medical system. We have surgeons that are operating on patients, cracking open their skulls with less than 3 hours of sleep each night. That is unethical. And beyond that, that explains why physician suicide and the medical specialty is at such a high rate of depression and burnout and anxiety. The system is already breaking. You don't have to be living under a rock to know that. And this means that medical system is completely unsustainable the way it is. On the other hand, if you look at the digital world, by using a one-to-many approach, we're no longer, we're decoupling our time from money, and we can have a global impact. Our impact is no longer limited to our flesh and our bone and our time. By creating a digital asset, an online course that's 100% automated, that works for us, even while we're sleeping, even while we're traveling the world, even while we're spending more time with our family, enjoying the generational wealth that we've created, 24 hours in a day, 365, because the internet does not sleep. That is truly why I'm so passionate about serving doctors, nurses, and health providers and helping them bridge that gap between being a salaried employee to becoming a digital educator, helping more people on a global scale. Now let's compare this with traditional business models. Well, first and foremost, cash flow, right? With a traditional practice, you're already negative on day one. Not only do you have huge staffing costs, you have to hire 10, 30 plus people, right? You have to buy a lot of equipment, not to mention all the workload, the insurance, the paperwork, the legal. It's a lot of headaches. On the other hand, if you look at a digital asset, you're cash flow positive on day one. That's very important because it means you're already profitable starting on day one. And you can simply reinvest those profits in order to generate a higher and higher return on investment, like some of our students have, 2,000% return on investment, $10,000 in, $200,000 out in just the first 30 days. Beyond that, you don't need crazy stuff, right? You don't need to have a business partner. You don't need to borrow any money. You can just start by yourself in your pajamas, in the comfort of your own homes, even with your dog or your child cuddling next to you. You can start this tonight at your home, because what's most valuable is the expertise that you already have up here. Equipment, you just need your laptop and the local internet connection, right? If you can't even afford internet, go to your local Starbucks, go to the public library. There's no excuse not to package the expertise that you already have on the internet to help more people. In terms of workload, there's no insurance claims, there's not a lot of paperwork, right? Everything is fully automated using technology and systems that we provide you, plug and play. So all you have to do is just sit down, fill in the blanks, and launch your online course in as short as 4 weeks. One big thing is the profit, all right? The profit. With a traditional with a traditional brick and mortar business, profit margins are very slim. If you know what you're doing, you might be generating 20% profit margins, but most traditional businesses are generating less than 10%. On top of that, it's very vulnerable to recessions. With a digital asset, with a digital online course, you're generating 80 to 99% profit. Now, why is that the case? How much can software actually cost? With Zoom, it's completely free. With Google PowerPoint slides, it's completely free. Right? We're just using free software. So software is very cheap. On top of that, there's no rent. We don't have to pay for a brick and mortar practice. We don't have to pay for a local office, right? And so the expenses are super low, keeping your profit margins nice and healthy at 80 to 99%. On top of that, it's recession proof. With all the crazy things that are happening in the recent years, the one thing that you can be sure to depend on is the online world. More and more people are spending time at their home in the comfort of their own homes, learning, empowering themselves, and investing in their own education and their own career. If you already have children, then you'll know that everything is moving online, especially when it comes to education. And so with all that being said, with a traditional private practice, the risk is extremely high. You already have to take on loans in order to start your private practice. With an online course, on the other hand, with a digital asset, there's virtually no risk. If you fail, so be it. You don't lose any money, and you barely lose any time. The biggest risk is not taking this opportunity, because each month that passes without an online course, each month that passes with you not having a digital asset that creates income and impact for you, is essentially you leaving tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of passive income that you could have made in opportunity cost. The only risk is not starting, or at least not learning more, because we can always make back more money. We can always generate more income, but the one thing that we can never get back is time. That is the biggest risk. And so, in summary, making $100,000 per year with a fully passive online course is incredibly simple and fun, right? Let's break down the math. You put in 3 to 5 hours each week, you get 5 students per week, you charge $500 per course, which is a very conservative estimate, right? Most of our students actually charge $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000 per course, but let's just be conservative, right? 5 students per week, $500 per course, you earn a $10,000 per month completely on autopilot. That would be $120,000 per year, even while you sleep, even if you break a leg, even if your fingers no longer work the way it used to in the operation theater. Now, conversely, let's look at making $100,000 per year as a cog in the machine. This picture is basically me working one of those crazy night shifts in the middle of the pandemic. I was totally burnt out. I even hit my head, and that's why I had a little bruise going on, because I was just so sleep deprived. But let's break down the math, right? To make $100,000 per year as a cog in the machine, that's 10 years of education, not to mention residency and more training. That's $240,000 minimum in student loans. That's 60 to 80 hours of slave-like hours in residency. That's working weekends and holidays, missing out on our child's baseball games, missing on our daughter's dance recitals. It's sacrificing your family time and your own mental health, burning out, leaving you sleep deprived and burnt out. right? And making $100,000 per year as a digital medic in the online world with one digital asset, this is the hygiene standard. We spend 3 to 5 hours each week just to get started, just to set everything up. But once everything is rolling in motion, once everything is automated, it takes less than 9 minutes each day to maintain, as you've seen in our case study with Dr. Tanaka. And on top of that, not only are we generating more financial freedom for ourselves, we're helping more people on a global scale. It's incredibly fulfilling. It gives us the time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom without sacrificing our time, our family, or our mental health. And so that's how Dr. Digital was born, which is what our students tend to call me, Dr. Digital. And I personally felt a personal and moral responsibility to share this system, to share this method, to share this proprietary technology to every single doctor, nurse, and healthcare provider that are committed to helping more people on their own terms. That's really what we're all about inside our team. It's about generating more impact and generating more income for doctors and nurses and healthcare providers without having to sacrifice their time, their profits, their family, their freedom. And so you might be asking, what's in it for me, right? What's in it for us and our team? Well, our mission is to reform health education, to help 1 million healthcare experts, doctors, nurses, and any healthcare provider, and give them the extraordinary opportunity to turn your knowledge into a digital course that generates income and impact without your time, with minimal time commitment, 100% automated. Because there's one thing I learned from billionaire investor Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And that might sound scary, but really it's just simple math and simple logic. If you don't find a way to decouple your time from money, to transition out of that one-to-one hourly model, then you will simply have to work until the day you die. And this is what it looks like to get enrolled with us. We're going to help you exactly the 4-step system that we talked about. Number 1, getting crystal clear on who you want to serve and what you want to teach, how to package the expertise that you already have into an underserved market to create a course that people know, like, and love. Number 2, how to sell your course, we give you a proven sales process to turn a complete stranger into a paying student without appearing sleazy or those crazy salesmen, marketing gimmicks. It's none of that. It's just about how you position yourself in the right marketplace and position yourself as an authority in your space. Number 3 is building the online course. As doctors and nurses, we spend most of our time doing ward rounds or academic conferences and making presentations. So teaching is something that we know already and is quite familiar to us. This is simply about plugging the expertise that you already have into an online digital asset. And number 4 is automating everything. We show you the roadmap that I used to scale our students from 0 to 6 figures in 90 days or less. Now, it's important to note that we do not work with everybody. Just like Harvard and Stanford, we are a private academic institute and we cannot accept everyone. And compared to Harvard, they have a 13.4% acceptance rate, right? Especially during the season. If we look at our own statistics, for our December cohort in 2021, we had 20,000 people in our waitlist, 2,300 new applicants, 170 new interviews, and 17 new enrollments. That means we have a 10% acceptance rate on average per month. All right. Ours is 10%, which, by the way, is a fraction of the cost of an MBA. It's a fraction of the cost of entering medical school or nursing school, and it's a fraction of the cost of entering Harvard or Stanford, even though we're a lot more competitive than the 13.4% at Harvard. And the main reason why we have such a low acceptance rate is because we can only offer enrollments to people that we can genuinely help. That's why our program and that's why our training programs are invite only. You can't buy my program online. You can't find a checkout page or buy it like a CD, right? We don't do that because we only offer this program by invitation only. That's why in order to join our university, you must speak with one of our enrollment specialists, one of our top advisors. Now, before your call, make sure that you do show up to the call. This is very important, right? We are one of the most competitive and prestigious online education companies right now. 10% acceptance rate, as we mentioned. So we do not admit people who just don't follow through on what they say they're going to do. If you book a time but you decide not to show up, then that just kind of shows us the type of doctor or the type of nurse or health provider that you are. And we have no interest in working with people that don't respect other people's time. And so this is an unacceptable standard and it's just not something we accept. So if, on the other hand, you need to reschedule, that's completely different. Just let us know as soon as possible. Let your advisor know as soon as possible so we can make sure that we can take care of you and free up that slot for someone that we can actually serve and we can really help. And finally, review through this video to make sure you get a full understanding of what this opportunity entails. If things are unclear, don't worry. We will cover this in our call together, right? And be prepared. Be in front of a computer in a quiet place in a distraction-free environment. We take this time very seriously to make sure that we can actually help you. So bring your pen and paper to take notes. And we really want to make this a valuable consultation for you. Let's talk about the 45-minute consultation, all right? This consultation, first, we're going to just learn more about your situation, diagnose where you're at, what your goals are, what your profession is, your credentials, what you can actually teach, how to package the expertise that you already have into the online world. And we're going to help you map out a clear action plan on how you can achieve $10,000 per month of passive income in 90 days or less. And it's very important because most of our clients, they call this the most valuable 45 minutes that they invested each year. Because if you think about it, most people don't even have a plan. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to offer this free consultation to help as many doctors and nurses and health providers as possible by offering them this plan. Most people don't even have a plan. And most people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Not having a plan is like showing up to the airport without a ticket. You could end up in the middle of the savannas, you could end up in the middle of Bali, you could end up in the middle of Antarctica. You don't know because you don't have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, then you just end up as someone else's plan, whether it's continuing to slave your hours, trading your time for money, or whether you're just like a leaf blowing in the wind with no purpose or direction in life. And so that's part of the reason why I wanted my team to offer this free consultation to help as many and reach as many doctors and nurses as possible, to give you that clarity of plan, because at least with a plan, you know where you're heading, okay? And then at the end of the call, if we feel like we can help, we can provide a custom plan for what our mentorship would look like for you specifically. Now, there's two important things that I want to bring your attention to. Number one, it's our commitment to you. We're committed to your success and take our student results very seriously. And we will continue to work with you until you get results. That's why we offer 100% lifetime access to and unlimited coaching. This means you get to work with the best of the best in the online education and medical education space inside our team, and we're going to work with you until you get results. And number two, it's our limited capacity. Even though we're fully committed to you, understand that we are humans just like you. Understand we have families just like you. And we are doing this in order to help as many doctors and nurses as possible. And so we open enrollments for 10 to 20 committed students per cohort based on their commitment level to help more people with their medical knowledge. And we will close this door once we filled up all the slots in order to protect student quality. Now, here are the two possible outcomes. The worst case scenario is that you get a free consultation, right? This means that even if we can't help, we will help you out. We will help you map out exactly what I would do if I were in your situation to achieve your financial freedom. Basically, this would be a free mentorship from someone that's replaced their clinical income already and retired completely with just one online course in my first 12 months. All right. I was building this on the side, by the way. I was an emergency physician working in the ER during the pandemic, 60 to 80 hour work weeks, 3 night shifts every single week on the verge of burnout. But I was still able to build this on the side in just 3 to 5 hours each week. Best case scenario, we can 100% help you. Our advisor will invite you into our community. We'll show you exactly who to serve, what to teach, how to package the expertise that you already have into the online world, and we will plug you into our proven system to start generating cash flow. We will equip you with everything that you need to launch your course, all the tech, all the automations. We've built all of that for you, and we give you all those templates. And on top of that, most importantly, you get lifetime coaching until you reach your financial freedom goals. We have students that are in our community for over 2 years that are still working with us and still using our services to get to that next level. And if you'd like to see some more student successes, click below and just look at all of them. We practice what we preach. We are doing what we're teaching other people how to do, and you can see all of our results at the bottom of this page. And just remember, you're only one online course away. So imagine all the time freedom that you want. How would you spend it, right? Imagine all the location freedom that you want. Where would you travel to? Who would you travel with? Imagine if you could just cut back your clinical hours just 50%. Cut down to just working 3 to 4 days a week, and then 3 to 4 hours each week. What would that mean for your life and your family? What would that mean for your medical career? Now let's talk about the financial freedom. Imagine if you had generational wealth. Imagine if you could reinvest all those profits into real estate, into stocks. Imagine if you had a cash flow business that generates income and impact even while you sleep. What would that mean for your own peace of mind? What would that mean for paying off your student loans? Here's Natalia. Before working with me, she was already looking at investing in real estate. But after working with me, she realizes that this program is a better investment than real estate. It's less work, and she owns all the profits, which is $75,000 in 1 month using our proven process. Here we have Abraham. Before working with us, he had a private practice, but by following our automated process, he's now improving the quality of life of people on the internet on a worldwide level. Here you can see he generated $16,000 per week using one online course. Here's Jackson. He's a surgical resident. Of course, you can imagine how crazy those hours tend to get as a surgical resident, but he was still able to build this on the side, and in fact, generated $10,000 in 1 day and $22,000 in just the first 2 weeks. Our simple system helped him launch in just the first week. And this is a surgical resident, so you can imagine, you can imagine what it would be like if you had a bit more time. You could probably launch even earlier. All right, here we have Dr. Mai, $1,500 over brunch, enjoying brunch with a group of friends, and then realizing, congratulations, you just got a sign up, $1,500 for a course, and we're just getting started. Here we have Dr. Richford. When we were working together, she was actually a medical intern, and she would actually built this while she was studying for the USMLEs or the MCATs, whatever they are in Europe. All right, and she was able to generate $1,000 every single day teaching a course helping helping female physicians. This is Dr. Saunders, an OBGYN surgeon. Thank you so much for the individualized attention. This is Dr. Valley, another OBGYN attending. 7 students signed up for the course. All right, 7 students. This is Dr. Tan, a PM&R, and she teaches a course helping other pregnant women overcome the struggles of childbirth. And this was her screenshot of her first client, her first student. And you can imagine, she's only been growing and growing ever since. This is Tommy, an eye surgeon. If you watched my video, then you probably heard about his story. But he's making good money doing LASIK for patients, but now earning more by teaching and sharing his expertise on the internet, impacting thousands more by teaching. You can imagine, as a LASIK surgeon, you're already making quite a good money, 6 figures per month. But he's still able to make this more. He's still able to make even more, completely passive on the side. We have Dr. Phillips, first student at $750, an academic doctor. We have Dr. Demers. Okay, it's working. She had an epiphany yesterday that the reason that she's stuck in the one-to-one world selling her time for money is because she keeps saying yes to her consultations. And she realized that time is finite, meaning that in order to really move forward in life, she has to say no about these one-on-one consultations and start transitioning into the digital world, right? And you can see more of our reviews on Trustpilot, 5 out of 5. And you can see more of our reviews on our testimonial page. You can see exactly the interview that I did with Dr. Mai, 2,000% ROI. And just like the 350 doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers that we served, you're only one online course away from all the financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom that you deserve. So book your free consult down below. My team and I look forward to speaking with you and helping you achieve the financial freedom that you deserve. You're only one online course away from all the impact that you want to have on the world, as well as the income that you deserve.